Well, hello everybody. I'll give it that minute to let people log on. Going into New Year's, a nice long weekend ahead. I'm excited about that. I'm happy with the USA. I've been doing monumental videos, keeping up, staying ahead of the game, and I prove that for those who remain and those who are still putting their heads in the sand. But I can tell you all this. As I feared, and what the narrative of the Canadian media, led by your lunatic socialist governments, it's clear, it's at hand. It is not what the USA has relayed to Canada. It's not what the media picked up from the CDC. They're already manipulating it. Right now BC chimes in about how they're going forward with the endemic. For all those who don't know what that means, is when you have pandemics, which this world has had pandemics, often viruses or diseases become endemic. You can look at the Spanish flu in 1918. They didn't have the science or the technology they have today, but that became endemic. It became endemic. Was it a huge loss of life? Yes. Yes, it was. But everybody, what the CDC has released, and they're very much ahead of Canada, very much ahead. They rolled out vaccines first. Donald Trump, Operation Warp Speed. And he's owning that. He's owning that, and he should. And we're watching this variant Omicron sweep through now, and it's much, much less destructive. Now, it's dangerous, don't get me wrong. Unvaccinated people, the surging cases, it's true. Now I see even people, friends of mine, posting, oh, but look at all the cases, the positive cases of vaccinated. Well, vaccinated have taken over majority of the population. It's pathetic what people will try at their very end. We saw this with AIDS. There are lunatics out there still to this day, and they're still part of that anti-vax group, and you can look them all up. Absolute lunatics. We have a whole new brand of lunatics, but those original lunatics are still around, and people even share those to me. This great doctor from Thailand and Germany, he got a ribbon. He's also a devout AIDS is fake guy. Wow. You know, those people still exist, 75 years old. These people are lunatic. It's embarrassing now. It's at the point of embarrassing. We are going into an endemic, but the problem is what's been relayed by the Democrats and Republicans universally to Canada's media has been shelved. Oh, they took large portions of it. They're going to make it look like, oh, no, we're following, but masking, businesses, all of it still remains. The restrictions on small businesses, what they're doing to destroy employment. Now BC, which you can click on the link in the video, which says, oh, with the endemic coming, we have to change the value of certain employment types. Change the value. We've learned a lot in the pandemic. Let me tell you about business school, getting a business degree, and for those few Canadians who pursue business management degree, maybe you majored in human resources, maybe you majored in managerial accounting, or maybe you majored in economics. I loved economics. That was my path. I loved business law, civil law, banking, and credit law. I took all of those electives, took a different path for my degree, but we all have to take the same courses, one of which is human resources. There's levels of that. There's people who get their business degrees absolutely in human resources. The problem with socialist governments is those who learn those degrees. One of my programs I remember clearly, and I got excellence in it. I remember the group I was a part of. I even remember the problems with those kids. We were all kids at the time we did that particular course, was valuing trades, valuing different job types. We do assessments on the value. What I know today and how that transpired as a business student, and that project we did, and the teachers that we had, the professors, is they didn't know diddly squat about jobs and what they thought, especially of trades. I've spent a lifetime since then earning my wages and trades. And I'll tell you how wages were assessed then, as I live and experience them over the last 20 years, is not even anywhere close to what we want excellence in and how we determine the value of said trades. This is no different from the lunatic socialists now spinning off from the CDC, not giving you Canadians real truth, when they should be telling all vaccinated people that you don't have to wear masks anymore. If you're boosted, there's no reason to, and that with the surge of Omicron, it's likely that you'll only wear masks when you get sick and you have a positive test. If you're fully vaccinated, that can be over in as less than 2 days, somewhere between 2 to 5 days. And you can still go to work. Did you know that in Quebec you can go to work now? They're following that portion of the CDC, where you can go to work sick with COVID-19 positive, as long as your symptoms lift and you wear a mask. You can go to work. But in the United States of America, you don't have to wear a mask outside of that. They're still pushing that in Canada to make you to wear masks everywhere. Instead of enforcing vaccination certificates, is what they really should be doing. The provinces should be doing this through businesses. And then you know what? Small businesses stay open all the time. People get sick, you have enough common sense to wear a mask for that 5-day period as specified by the CDC. Outside of that, you're feeling great, wonderful, fine. Don't wear a mask. That's what you're supposed to be being told. The best experts in the United States of America have published that entirely. They even have maps of high-risk areas where you should wear masks just because of surging cases in densely populated cities and areas of heavily populated states. Much extremely populated, more than anywhere in Canada besides the GTA, the Greater Toronto area. Outside of that, you're hard-pressed to find any major densities. When you look at a place like Alberta, Calgary, Edmonton, they're very tiny when you start looking around the rest of the United States and where they are with COVID-19 and breakout infections. And no one's wearing masks, ladies and gentlemen. You don't have to. The science is in. Unfortunately for unvaccinated people, sure, your infection rates are down because you're a minority. You're a minority. But what's not down is your overwhelming presence in emergency rooms, your overwhelming presence in ICUs. And now, yes, there are fully vaccinated people because of a majority that are in the age or immune compromised position where no matter what we do for these people, they are going to be susceptible. There's nothing we can do about that. There's all kinds of things. You've had heart transplants of various kinds, or you've contracted other diseases that's compromised your immune system. There's an entire list. They know lots now. The United States is way ahead of Canada. Canada has to actually go to the USA. But they don't want to publish it all. They don't want to release it all to you. They've shoeboxed a crap load. Why? Because your autocratic socialist regimes don't want you, the majority, to know too much about it, because they have to create their own spin-off. We have to keep people under thumb. We need to keep our autocratic powers in place. Let's keep the fear alive. They're already spinning like BC, as I just put in the link. Breaking news just an hour ago. This is what you're going to see throughout BC. No surprise from John Horgan and his lunatic socialists to try and trick people and use, like what I learned in school. And I graduated. I got a business degree, majored in economics. I passed all my human resources. I did all the same projects many young graduates do who have not the first clue about all the professions that are out there and how you should weight those professions and how they weigh. And then what's not factored is the taxation. Who pays the taxes and who really doesn't? Who's actually receiving taxpayers' money in their wages, and how in Canada we only receive a very small portion of what we tax them back into the system. They sure don't tell you that in school. I can tell you, as a business graduate with a business degree, we certainly Didn't learn any of that, and I doubt very much has changed at all in the Commonwealth country of Canada, the UN state of Canada, the constitutional monarchy. They can't even change with the times. That's a fact. I could go visit some business schools just to determine what's what. Maybe I will do that in the new year. There's a lot to share, people. It's sad. I'm going to keep my eye on this government in Canada. Regionally, I'm going to watch, because I have CDC in its entirety. I watched that shoebox presentation that is not being made available to all Canadians. You're being kept in the dark. I published all of CDC in its entirety tonight. You can go back on my timeline. You can look at all those links. More, I'm going to post the link where you can go in the States, any region you want, any community, and find out their status for mask wearing. You can find out the status. If you're fully vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask. Which ones are they recommend you do wear a mask, but they don't make you wear a mask? If you get sick, you have to wear a mask. There's a 5-day period there. You can even go to work. Like I said, they're doing that in Quebec. Right now, today, it has started. Ontario is going to be incorporating this too. BC's trying to roll out its own spin-off crap. You will see which regimes throughout the provinces are going to try to capitalize on their spin-off of what CDC has absolutely shared in entirety from both the Democrats and Republicans alike. You will be hard-pressed to find very few a lunatic fringe to try and dispel any of this. That's reality. Thanks for tuning in. Share. Keep up on your government. Learn the truth, people. It's sick, it's sad, it's depraved. Canada is a sick, sick institution. Problematic, and it means our party must go forward. We must get the job done. Thanks. God bless. Enjoy your New Year's. We'll talk very soon. I will continue to wipe out the lunatics. We don't want you anymore. You're no good for nothing. And in time, you're going to be just like those AIDS crazies who denied AIDS, and a lot of them are in prison today because they infected a pile of people with AIDS. That's reality. That's reality. That's the truth. Sorry to hurt feelings, but that's it. And for those who are truly immune compromised, the system, like the USA is stating clearly, the CDC, you will be made into the new system. You will be protected. It's no different than if you were blind, deaf, paraplegic, and the list goes on and on. Don't get scared, people. It's not, you're not forgotten. And the USA is adamant about that. You can't go to any state right now as you go around the USA in all the presentations, Republican or Democrat, you won't find any leaving that out. They're terrific presentations. Much, much better than anything in Canada I've seen ever. Canada is disgusting, gross, and absolutely wrong. And like I said, everybody, I am truly, truly blessed to have been a part of that beta test presentation yesterday. The gods shine upon me. I don't know why I was selected, but I watched it, I saw it, Global News has it, it's real. CDC backs up everything as I screenshot it on the website. It's there for all of you. I'm even going to give you the link to search which regions are completely maskless and why and what it means to even have to wear a mask in high-risk regions. It's crazy. It's crazy what Canada is. It's sad, it's depraved, it's lunatic. The socialist government regimes are lunatic, and we're seeing that. Ontario's trying to put on a brave face, but they're still trying to hold on to a lot of the bullshit. That's reality. Take care, everybody. Happy New Year.